Last week we spent a few moments on talking about my trade history of 2013. Right, it was about 10 tabs or something, right? And as you can see, there's a couple more tabs over here on the year 2014, right? Just a couple more. And before we get into this, I was thinking of splitting it up. Maybe doing half of it, but at the same time, it's kind of I might as well just get it out of the way, right? Because I started it, and I might as well cover the whole year. So these are the tabs of 2014, and if we go to the right here a little bit, just a little bit, you can probably see that my trading activity during 2014 has slightly increased, just a little bit. And we're gonna go through several phases of trading, I would say. Right, I'm mostly just a bot trader, and there's some friend trades in there. And I marked some by muting the tabs if there was something maybe interesting happening in there. But this is from last year, right? We stopped at somewhere over here, January 5th or something. So there's not much on this page really going on. You can see there's some report trades in here, and getting more tickets, trading tickets of the friend that got me into MVM. 2014, so we were like 12 or 13 years old. I wish, man. I fucking wish. That would be great. And yeah, so there was something that I completely forgot or didn't remember at all. There was something called Trashbot, and that's retired for like a while, and you could trash your items in there. Like if you had a bunch of coupons or whatever, you could just dump it in here and just take out whatever was in there as well. It's gonna show up once in a while, just dumping coupons and all random shit. This was before they had gems on Steam, right? So even if you see like this trading card shit that I got rid of over here, you couldn't really do much with it other than sell for like 3 cents and then get like 1 cent out of it. How much memory does your browser use right now? I don't know. I mean, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gigs maybe, 6. I mean, there's lots of Firefox in here, right? Do the math if you want. I don't really care. So I got more to spare. It's not that like intensive really. So yeah, there's a bunch of trash bots just going on. Not much happening, but some random trades with some people. I don't know who this is anymore or whatever. Like regular trash bot. I dumped some emote in and got a doodling minigame out. Right. And yeah, as this is the MVM, hardcore era, I would say, where you just play on a daily basis with your buddy, right, your wingman and whatnot. I mean, we were each other's wingman, more or less. There's gonna be more ticket trades and overall taunt processor trades going on, and we're gonna go really crazy on this a bit later, right? We're just switching parts as we need them to complete fabricators when you could actually make profit from 2 cities, right? You could just complete any random fabricator and then dump it on the market to get your money's worth back that you invested, and yeah, and here's me buying more keys. So it's not too crazy. Getting some keys and trading some keys, and here's probably the first interesting trade, right? I got a B mark from what used to be Thief2 Warehouse, right? The one website that I primarily used to flip items around and get other stuff back. And this is the B-Mark that I still have, which is Halloween spelled Spectral Spectrum. And somebody dumped that into that bot and I got it out of it. And I still have that. So one of the more expensive items nowadays, I would say, just because there's a random spell on it. If you go to the right person, you can probably get a good amount of money for this. And then, yeah, trash bot. I dumped a bunch of cases or crates, as they were called back then, in here, because you know, back then I would get rid of the trash, and it was trash. And now you could probably just actually get some more money for this, maybe. The lower series 31s. Potentially, I don't know. I don't care enough to look into that. And yeah, around the same time when MDM started for me to kick off, I also got into the whole collector's era of buying chemistry sets. You will not see chemistry sets in these trades because I got them off the community market 99% of the time. I think there might be some random trade somewhere where I switched a chemistry set with some other guy's chemistry set or something, but it's just gonna be weapon trades and robot part trades, you know, just getting rid of excess parts. Because you need metal to get weapons, right? And there's gonna be a tons of weapon trades here just for the collector's craze that started around that time. And I actually enlisted help from a friend of mine that's also gonna show up, right? Daisuke, the guy with the Japanese name right there. And he helped me out with all sorts of shit when it came to just building my collector's weapons, trading weapons to me when I wasn't around. He was looking for weapons and then giving them to me, and it was the time where you could basically find none of these fucking weapons in any trade bot on Scrap.tf, because everyone that wanted to make a collector's was just taking his shit and fucking hogging it for themselves, so you could basically find barely anything in there. And yeah, look at all these robot parts leaving. And I also dabbled a little bit in like unusual trade shit, but I didn't go too far on this. I at some point bought a Princess Pride Cauldron Bubbles, which is probably something more valuable now, because that's like a first Halloween tier effect or something like that, right? So it could be potentially more than what I bought it here for back in the day. And yeah, more weapons. I didn't go too deep with the whole unusual thing because I couldn't be asked to actually talk to people about this shit, which is why I primarily use bots anyway, or just trade with friends. And while I talk about trading, I'm doing some trading. So this was not a trade. I don't know if this was actually a good trade or not, right? It was an unusual backbiters Billy Cock with PE, Purple Energy. And I traded my Australian scattergun for it back then. And it didn't take a long time for this to, you know, leave my inventory again. And I don't think I made anything from that trade. Right, and here it's leaving me again for all this random shit and a bunch of keys. Some earbuds. Earbuds were still worth like something more than nowadays, where it's like 2-3 keys. Back then they were like 15, 20 keys, some in that range, right? So you can see that where I'm getting rid of some keys to get earbuds, because I didn't have space for all these keys that I got, so I flipped it to earbuds. And saved on backpack space there, and yeah. Getting some festive flare guns here, right? For the collector's chemistry sets, and overall just trades, building, craft hats from friends and all that. So there's not really too much. Crates from 2013, you know, some taunts, and just overall mostly weapons to make collectors. And the attempt at the collectors was to just, make some profit, right? Offer them for more MVM at that time, but I ended up just keeping a lot of them because, it was so much effort to make them. And the market was kind of saturated as well because a lot of people were making them. So you couldn't really make too much profit for what the work was worth. Besides like primary weapons, maybe if you made flogs back in the day, it was actually good timing if you made collector's flogs, because at the same time they released strange files for the flogger scenario. So I remember selling one of the collector's flogs that I made early on for like 130 or something, because a day later the Stranger Fire came out and somebody just snagged it up real quick. So, just being at the right place at the right time can get you a good deal as well. And I think I made like 4 collector's flogs. That's why you're probably going to see more flogs than any other weapon here. And I ended up selling all of those, and then later bought one back from the market because I wanted to keep one. So the one that I have is not my OG one, if I remember right, anyway. And it's just weapon trades, right? This guy giving me a bunch of flogs that he collected for robot parts. We're all more or less helping each other out with this. So there's just tons of fucking items that are just basic weapons here, right? Nothing too exciting going on. But when you go and trade, or when you went and traded back in the day on Scrap.tf for weapons, you started noticing some things, right? Back in the day it was not as controlled. You could find pretty much anything in weapon bots, from craft weapons, like objectives, to vintage weapons, for instance, right here, right? So you could find vintage weapons, even strangers, even normal unboxable weapons later on, like festive weapons, like festive bone swords and that shit, right? So at some point when you notice that, you think, let's look at the bots a little bit more closely, right? And then you really start raking it in by other people just dumping their whole odd numbered vintages or other random vintages into weapon bots, so basically half a scrap, and then you take it out, right? You trade it into the other website where it's estimated, higher because it's more valuable than half a scrap. And so you get stuff for stuff, right? And then you build slowly up. And looking back at this, I should have probably kept it because I'm kind of still collecting like odd numbered or odd leveled vintages even now. So, but it was a profit driven time, right? Where you wanted to just continue playing MVM without investing your own money basically into it, even though it wasn't really necessary. It's like an experiment in a way. So yeah, you just started just continuously looking through these Scrap.tf bots for any random thing that you could find, and to flip it, make some profit, and then get other shit that you were interested in later on. And yeah, it's more regulated nowadays, where you have specific bots for strangers and for like specific hats, higher value items and all that. But you could get pretty much fucking anything that somebody else dumped in there, knowingly or unknowingly. There's probably some times where it was just people wanting to cash out or something in the fastest way, or they were done with the game or whatever. I don't know, right? So why else would you dump a bunch of vintages somewhere in random weapon bots? I don't know. And yeah, you could basically just fund your MVM with this, partially or fully at some point, no matter how much you wanted to play. There was always more to be found, and even things like snack attacks were just sitting there in random weapon bots as well. And that was pretty much my life back then. MVM, trading, and that's all the free time you spend, right? It's just refreshing bots, looking through bots, making trades, trying to get profit, and building up collectors and all that shit, right? Like right here, another vintage bonk collection. I don't know. Why? No idea. And that's pretty much what it's going to be for the majority of this. Throughout like July, August, September, October. Just weapon trades, strange trades, all that. With the occasional interesting thing maybe somewhere happening, right? You could find Wanga bricks, for instance, in there as well. And just building, right? Getting a festive Crusaders crossbow. More flogs. Gotta have the flogs. Gotta have all the flogs in the fucking world, right? Nobody can have a flog but me. Because gotta build it. Gotta make it. And there's like tons of these. So yeah. It was a good time. It was a good time, really. I don't know if this was a good trade back then. A professional crit streak, kill streak kit for earbuds. No idea. Right, some mutated milk in here. Vintages. And here I cashed out some buds for keys. And this is a weird trade. I think this was a 2-pack. A 7 Days to Die 2-pack. So I got this from this person for keys, right? And then I traded them the other one back and got some collateral back from them for it. So it's really something that I have to think about, like what is going on in some of these trades. And yeah, nothing really outstanding. Like I'm not spending tons of keys on unusuals or whatever, right? I couldn't be asked to do that and then try to flip that around. It's just not something I ever thought to get into too much. It was a bit too fun. Wow, can do that too. I didn't know that. Double click on it and it like goes for crazy. Okay, the more you know. Right. And it's just the same basically for the majority of this. I don't know what to say to this anymore. But as I was building collectors, I was also just preemptively collecting things like Bat Out of Hells and Conscientious Objectives as well, which I ended up never getting a collector's chemistry set for, unfortunately. But as you know, I have a ton of objectives lying around, so that's how that happened. I primarily collected for collectors, and now I just really grew fond of the item in general, because people put funny pictures on it, stupid pictures on it, and just started to have my little side project with that. And yeah, like could find anything. So interesting things. Of course, the big secret of trading was shared by me with the friend that was helping out. So he had his own little hustle, right? Looking through bots. I was looking through bots. He was looking through bots. When I was in a trade and I found something interesting, I pointed him in the direction of that item that I couldn't get because I was already in a trade, right? So we just help each other out by scavenging through those bots and just getting shit together. Having a good time. And TF2 item. I don't know. Some of this shit doesn't load properly, I guess, because maybe it's so much loading going on here. I mean, it took me hours to just fucking get all this shit together in the first place. And yeah, this is just abusing Scrap.tf bots. I mean, abusing. You were just doing trades basically, right? Other people that didn't know any better were putting items in there, and you just took the items back out for the price that Scrap.tf offered, right? Everyone else. So, because their system wasn't set up in a way that it is now, you could make bad deals on the other person's side, right? That dumped these items. And you as a person that was just, you know, in the know, could make good deals, right? You could get items from the bots, right? So I wasn't scamming anybody, because Scrap.tf bots just, they take a scrap for your 2 weapons and they give 2 scrap for your 2 weapons back in the day. So it was just an equal trade, even though the items were technically valued higher, right? But I don't know if people complained or if somebody actually got around to write a better system for their bots altogether. You know, make it more streamlined, more controlled. And it's good the way it is now, right? Where you can't accidentally dump things that are way more valuable into a bot. And it should be like this if you have a good website, a good system, right? Where you don't accidentally scam like other users for items that are more valuable. And we could like get into arguments by you know, just saying that certain prices for items on Scrap.tf are just insanely undervalued. Like if you sell certain collector's items, for instance, right now, you're probably gonna get a fucking terrible deal. Same with unusuals. Probably also not a good idea to just dump things there. But like I said, I'm not really like the person to talk about when it comes to unusual trades. But if it's higher value items, I would always double check whatever you do with another trading website before you get into giving Scrap.tf anything, because the most of the time just, you know, undercutting you, because it's easier, it's faster, right? It's instant, instead of you going out of your way listing something, then maybe waiting a day, 2 days, 2 weeks, a month to get the desired price, a reasonable price for it, right? And that's how it basically works when it comes to bot trading anyway, right? It's like a quick sell. Even though I would say quick sells still more loss compared to just bot trading. But like I said, I'm not a trader, I don't really know if it is that way still. I just do bot trading and then call it a day, just dumping whatever excess I have, what I don't need, and then get what I really like randomly, right? But yeah, it was good fun, good times. It's a interesting look at trading for me personally, because I always saw people like say, trading, man, you can make so much money. And it definitely is true, you can still make trading, make a lot of money with trading, buying backpacks and whatnot, but there's a lot of, you know, I give you this much for your backpack and then you have the whole work behind it, right? To actually you flip the items around to get real, like real value for the items. So most like backpack buyers probably take, I don't know, I'm gonna lie, I'm gonna just guess, they probably take your backpack for 50%, maybe 70% of what it's actually worth, right? And that's how it works, because you just want to clear out and then get something for it, and then they flip it around, make their profit, and then, you know, they trade up on their own by just buying unusuals maybe and then selling them, and, you know, just economy shit, yeah. It's just how it is, right? Profit margins somewhere. And I'm sure there's still some like inflated prices and price manipulation, maybe even though like Scrap.tf is, I would say, pretty good at fighting this shit and preventing it. But I'm sure there's also a lot of trades going on where you're just, you know, where you have two high tier traders, just trading items between each other, right? And then saying, hey, look, I sold this to this guy for like 5,000 keys, and then you have a valid sale, and then you can say, hey, this item is worth 5,000 keys now. And is it really? I mean, who fucking knows, right? So I don't know. But they're generally watching out for, you know, manipulations of, hey, I give you 5,000 keys for this item, then we're saying, hey, I sold it to you for 5,000, and then you give me 2,000 back, right? So basically, that would be price manipulation, right? So I would generally still say they're pretty good at controlling that. So yeah, if you're really into trading, it's definitely harder to get into nowadays than back in the day, considering how much a key is worth now, and ref being less worth anything really. I'm honestly surprised it's still hovering around the range it is right now, like 60, 70-ish ref. It's somehow not at 100 ref yet for whatever reason, which is kind of crazy to me. But I'm also not into how, you know, this whole pricing situation goes in general. Just looking at it, whatever. I feel like it. So yeah, Festive Flagrant here for the Festive Flagrant chemistry set. And it's kind of stupid that I just took screenshots back in the day and didn't actually make videos about it. You know, just making collectors, because at times I was making like 2, 3, you know, at once. But yeah, who would have thought that it was just going to be so valuable 10 years later, right? I mean, you're sitting on it for 10 years, basically doing nothing with it. And now, if I wanted to sell my collectors, I could probably get like 10k, maybe more even. I don't know. Occasionally you look into what it's worth, but I have no intention of selling any, so I don't really care in general. And just pursuing basically whatever I feel like, hey, look at this, I want this. Like currently right now I'm looking through vintages and building that again for no real reason other than to get rid of the ref in a way, because if you have 70 ref in your inventory that is already clogged up with all sorts of random shit, you'd probably rather get rid of the ref and have a single item sit there instead of, you know, page over page, just metal. So yeah, this is all just the same. Just gonna go over this real fast, right? I'm gonna be here a whole fucking day. Just looking over. Same thing, repeating. It was a good time. Collector's era, scavenging era, and MBM era, I would say, where I was still playing. I think on a daily basis. You can even see it on some of the collectors, no, not collectors, the kill streak kits that I cashed out or traded away to somebody else. Because I couldn't list items anymore on the market. They had like a stupid limit of 200 items you could list for sale. And if you exceeded that, they wanted your tax information or some shit. I think it's not like this anymore on the SCM. But it was really stupid, so I had to flip my kill streak kits to a friend, and he sold them for me, and then for that money he bought festive flare guns from the market and then traded them to me, right? Because I couldn't do it. It was just convoluted shit, really. But you had to wait until the next year before you could have another 200 listings. So if you still had 3 months in the year, like what do? You're just sitting on it, you're not doing anything? Nah. And I guess you could have just made an alt. I didn't have an alt back then, I couldn't be asked to make an alt. just for trading shit. So we just helped each other out where we could with pretty much everything. Like friends do. There you go, more vintage hauls, big hauls, somewhere you dumping everything. Right. And it's just how it is, how it goes on until the end of the year, basically. Sometimes more, sometimes less. And yeah. And it's not like it was easy either. You don't just go in a bot and then spend 30 minutes. It was like hours, right? You're scavenging through bots every hour, looking through it, like 4 or 5 hours a day, while you do other shit, right? Along the way, like play games or watch TV or whatever the fuck. After you come home from work, and it's just I don't know, it was, you could almost say it was like a game. It's like a fun game. It was scavenging, looking through things, interesting things, and yeah. It was cool. And it was just the weapon bots. I think it was also the hat bots, and I think some of those trades are gonna show up like next year or something, because this was not just in 1 year. I think 2015 was also that way. Yeah, the 200 selling limit bullshit. That was so stupid. Like they counted every item as like a transaction. Had something to do with the transaction, and no matter what the value of the item was, counted as a transaction. So if you sold something for like 3 cents, that was a transaction. But if you sold something for 300, that also was a transaction. So, and then you had to submit tax information because Valve was required to collect it because they are a US, primarily company. And yeah, but I think it's not like this anymore. Not like I can't really tell. I don't have anywhere close to 200 listings anymore. I have like maybe, I don't know, at most 50. I don't sell that much on the community market to know if that is still a thing. Or was this? I didn't scroll this down properly. Wow, look at that. And yeah, festive holy mackerels from weapon bots was a normal thing, right? There were fresh items around the time they released, I think. There were even more in these weapon bots. Or whenever there was like a new case or crate or whatever, and people went on unboxing sprees, you would find tons of strangers in there. They wanted to just get rid of these strangers. Tons of neon annihilators, I remember that, and strange bone saws and shit. It was just mental. But if you actually took the time, right, and got it, flipped it again, could pretty much fund MVM with this and with what you got from MVM as well. So yeah, experiment. And renamed weapons as well, just stock weapons. There were tons of those. I think I still have some of them in my backpack as well. What is this? They call me aimbot machine. I know there's some obscure traits here as well, which we're gonna get to soon, I believe. Where you just had weapons in there where you're thinking, why did somebody make this, right? There's a scattergun, and it's just called scattergun, but the custom description is some Korean shit. Like what? I don't know what the fuck that says, but okay. So that was also part of the fun. Translated? I don't wanna. And this is something, I mean, I can only tell because there's no confirmation here. But this was a warehouse bot. On a warehouse, you could have custom pricing for unusuals, and somebody put this unusual cotton head up. It's nuts and bolts, nothing exciting there, but and back in the day it wasn't even an all class, I believe, or multi-class. They made it later on. It was just a pyro limited head, I think, but they listed it for a credit price that was obscenely low. Either they made a mistake or something, or they just wanted to get rid of it because it was such a god ugly effect. I don't know, but you know, again, it's one of those times where you're at the right point at the right time and you see this and you could reserve this and you could get this unusual out for pretty much not even a key. It was really cheap. And I think I ended up selling that in the Steam community market, so it's probably not going to show up again. But yeah, just had to get lucky, be there when it happened, and you could really make bank in a way. And I don't know if you would consider that scamming. I still would consider that that's just a user error, right? The user did make a mistake and you saw it and you got it, and well, tough luck really. And yeah, that's what was in here? Tickets, vintage boot soles, right? That's the retrade. There you go. Strange Neon Annihilators, like a whole 9 of them. It's just crazy shit. Jiraiya. What is this? Oh, this is good. I actually spent, what was it? A key? 1, 2, 3, 4 ref. A key and 4 ref on Farming Simulator 2013. A top-notch game. You should all check it out. It's really good. Said nobody ever. Yeah. But we all got it because it was a stupid game, and you could actually play it. I mean, play it together loosely. Yeah, it's just, I don't know what to say. Stuff, and then more stuff, full stuff, and then you get more stuff, full stuff, and yeah, stuff, bunch of stuff, full stuff. That's how it is. Still make those fun. They make tons of sim games, and I think the German market is the sole reason why that whole thing even exists. I swear to God, Germans, for whatever reason, they love simulator games. They just eat that shit up, no matter how fucking dog shit they are, and I don't understand it. I'm really actually kind of embarrassed of that fact, because I couldn't care less about. Just imagine, right? You're coming home from work, doing some monotonous shit, and then you sit down on your PC, right, and play a simulator game where you simulate farming. Like, bro. If you wanted to touch grass, go outside, there's tons of it. So, it's just insanity. Like, I just don't understand it. Classic German mindset, grindset. In a way, I guess, yeah. I mean, it could be relaxing as well. If you have like a stressful day at work, maybe. Right? You find something that calms you down in there somewhere. I don't know. But they're not for me, that's for sure. Look at this, Binding of Isaac, Rebirth for like what, 5 keys? 4 keys? Yeah. Wow, look at that. All is flat. Lost souls are like that. Yeah. Makes sense, right? But the crazy thing is that Steam has all this history. No matter how far or whatever you do on Steam, they keep all this shit, right? Even with timestamp down to the minute. 3:11 p.m. I traded this for that. Like, it's mental. You think at some point this would just become, you know, useless or pointless because it's so shitty to even navigate to this data in the first place. But the amount of data they have on every user on their platform is just insane, right? So whenever Steam or Valve in general says they don't have any data on this, they're just fucking lying, right? They're absolutely lying. They have data for days, all data on every fucking thing you could imagine. So, God, how much more is there? Oh, it's the end. Wow, look at that. And yeah, this is like 90% of this is just trades happening in like 4 or 5 months. Like in the beginning of 2014, it was just the same as last year. But then it went really like out of control, you can almost say, right, with this shit. And it's just mental. But mostly building collectors and just flipping shit around for the entirety of the year. Oh, look at this fish cake and a weapon box. Freedom staffs, hooray. I haven't looked that closely through all of this myself, since it took already hours to just load pretty much everything up and then fucking prepare it. It's just insane. Strange man mods, oh yeah, good times. All the parts for 2 ref, wow. I'm pretty sure the market for this was also oversaturated, so this shit was like, okay, this is reinforced, so this is not worth as much anyway, but it was worth less than it is now, because there aren't as many people farming MVM anymore as when it was, you know, freshly coming out. So it's not like it's insanely profitable, but it's definitely normalized. And there's times where there's so much stock weapon renames in here, which I also started collecting if they had a funny renamed name with these things. This is just sticky bomb launcher and nothing. Like, who made this? Was this renamed at some point? Was it just a kill streak and they removed the kill streak, then dumped the weapon? Who the fuck knows? There's nothing anybody can confirm anymore with any of this. And that's how the year pretty much ended. Everything calmed down, you can see that. It's a little bit more just weapon trading and less going through bots. Maybe more people caught onto it as well, right? When you have to share the turf with multiple people, you're gonna eventually run out of things to find. And oh yeah, this was something I just completely didn't get. There's a bat, and the custom description is bat, right? And then there was another bat called a bat with no description, and then you had a bat again with, you know, and then another bat with the custom description called bat. Why? Don't ask me. Somebody had fun with some name tags or whatever. So yeah, it's part of the fun, really. Getting just to see obscure shit, getting that obscure shit, and then having a laugh with your buddy. And yeah. Craft heads from friends. You can clearly see what I was building towards. Every weapon trade kind of gives it away. And yeah, we have more of the bat collection with a bat, and the Scotsman Skull Call. So somebody really loved bats. I'm not judging you. I mean, you can have your fetish all you want. I have my own, so yeah, shotgun with the custom description. We need you, boy. Oh yeah. Yeah, maybe he was cosplaying as Batman, right? It was like a, what do you call it? A living shitpost, maybe? Meaning around back in 2014 with the Bat collection. And that's the end of this year. We're in January of 2015. And we're getting into Neon Annihilators, look at that. Right. So yeah, that's my entirety of trading history of 2014 for recorded trades anyway. There's tons of more activity that was going on through Steam community market sales and purchases, obviously, right? Because you didn't see a single collector's chemistry set, and I got pretty much all of them from the Steam community market. Never dropped one, so yeah. Cool shit, right? Cool shit. Hope you enjoyed that little look into the history of my insanity and how I got where I am today as the top garbage collector on the planet. Yeah. Now we're gonna close these 150 tabs. And I'm gonna have to sift through 2015 for probably the majority of this week. No, I'm just kidding. It takes like a couple hours to go through this.